So welcome, Eva and Yvonne and Judy and Noel. This is going to be week number 9, the first of the added weeks to living with life's playbook. And the topic that I've chosen for this one is more details about the law of attraction. So we covered that as one of the fundamental laws, but it's actually the most important law and the most well has the most things about it because it accomplishes the most stuff opposed to the other laws, which are simpler, just do one thing. So there's 4 steps, and I didn't outline the steps in the book, but now I'm going to. So the 4 steps in the law of attraction, or this is the way it works. These aren't necessarily steps for you, but the way it works, the process itself, is that first there's desires, and those are what we do. And so we don't have to think, all right, what do I want? And then say it out loud. Okay, universe, law of attraction, here's what I want. We can do that, but just the fact that we like something accomplishes the same thing. So our inner spirit and the law of attraction are sensitive to the things that we like and don't like. And so it's registering the things that we like as desires that we have. So in my analogy of a GPS system, that's the registering of the destination. Our desires are our destinations for life's journey that go into our GPS for directions. So it's an easy step that happens automatically. It doesn't require any work on our part. If we want the law of attraction to operate faster, more certainly and specifically, it's okay if we specifically say, I really would like this. And by the way, here's the features I want in it, etc. That's all good too. But just the fact that if you see something and you like it also registers our desire for that step. Before we go on, any questions about that part of the law of attraction? Getting it started, getting the thing. I say thing, but it could be an activity, it could be a person, it could be anything we want. Getting that started is getting it into the hopper of things for the future. Any questions about that part? That's pretty easy. It sort of happens automatically if we don't do it deliberately. But if we do it deliberately, that makes it even better. The second step is getting it ready to be fulfilled. So I'm using a new term now that I didn't use in the book, and it's called putting it into escrow. So this step is called building. And if you've ever bought a house or owned a house, you know what escrow is. Escrow is putting something aside in a place for a singular purpose that can't be disturbed or used for anything else until it's triggered by some event. So, for example, if you have a mortgage, your insurance and your taxes are typically paid out of escrow, which means that every month a certain part of your payment is set aside that goes into this escrow fund so that when the insurance bill arrives or when the tax bill arrives, then the vendor, the mortgager, pays those out of the escrow funds.
This is Judy, right?
What's that? So, any questions about escrow? So, whatever it is that you desire is put in escrow, which means it's gotten ready. The resources have been gathered.
Evaluation Treatment Center.
So, Judy, could you turn your Zoom mic off, please?
All right.
See if I
So he wouldn't see me though.
Okay, I did it, I think. All right. So the escrow comes out of the flow. The law of attraction gets the resources from the law of expansion. There's plenty of resources that come through the flow, energy through the flow, and they go into our escrow treasure chest that's preparing for us to receive the benefit, whatever it is that we want to come out of there. All right. So this is the equivalent of what I said in the book about it going into our GPS as a destination, whatever our desire is. So our new desire goes into the GPS as a destination, and that's the same as putting it into the escrow treasure chest waiting for us. Some questions about that? So we've got all kinds of stuff in escrow right now. All the stuff we've wanted in our lifetime that we haven't realized yet is in our escrow treasure chest waiting for the next step so that we can experience it. So the next step in the process is our allowing what's in the escrow treasure chest to flow to us. So this is sort of like the trigger. So in the analogy of your real estate escrow, this would be the arrival of the tax bill or the insurance bill that would release the funds. And so our allowing is what releases the buildup of what we want that's in our escrow treasure chest. So what does allowing mean? It means all of the following. It means accepting ourselves. So that was one of the rules. The first rule, love and accept yourself. That's part of it. So if we're not doing that, then we're not going to release the escrow. So accepting ourselves and trusting that it will flow to us, that it exists, it's already been prepared, whatever it is, and that it will flow to us. And staying in a higher vibration, emotional vibration, as much as possible. So that means monitoring our thoughts. And when we notice that we're not having a thought that has a good emotion with it, or changing our thought. So staying in a higher frequency emotions. That's what allowing means. Those things will allow the contents of our treasure chest to flow to us. This is the only step that requires any effort on our part. The first two didn't. The first one happened automatically, or could happen deliberately, but it happens automatically if not. And the second one is taken care of by the universe and the laws of the game. So this one requires our effort to accept ourselves and allow by keeping happy, positive, high frequency thoughts, monitoring our thoughts and uh, changing them when we need to. And that releases, it opens the floodgates that releases the uh, contents of our escrow treasure chest to us. And so once we do that, once we're in that state and stay in that state, then the contents will keep showing up for us. And that is step 4. So that's the manifestation of what we had put into our escrow, or rather what we had wanted in our escrow that the law of attraction put into our escrow. And now it's released to us, which means we experience the physical presence of it. If it was something, the thing shows up. If it was a person, the person shows up. If it was some event or activity, it shows up. So that's the final step, if you want, of the law of attraction. The four steps in the process. So that's what I wanted to detail for you today. This one requires no effort on your part either. Once you allow in step 3, it's going to flow. The law of attraction, the way the universe is built with the law of attraction, guarantees this step will occur next too. So that just explains how this law of attraction works in multiple steps. So, Noel, what do you think about that? Have you experienced, can you think about how those steps might have worked once in your life that you recall, that when you really wanted something and you didn't experience it being put into escrow because that all happened behind the scenes for you, but you probably experienced allowing it or believing it or accepting it and then it materializing for you. Do you have a story to tell us about something like that? We'd love to hear one if you have one. You're still muted. Let's see.
When I was reading it, I was trying to recall it. A lot of thoughts came into my head, but I couldn't come up with anything specific. So, but it makes a whole lot of sense.
Good. So the thoughts like what kind of thoughts came into your head?
Well, the escrow, I think that it um we think of, what we want, and um then things get put into a bank, and yeah, we do that our whole lives, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just something that um uh there's always wants and desires, and in the back of your mind you're thinking about, you eventually kind of take baby steps to get there and you don't realize it, but those are the things that get put into escrow.
Right. And those baby steps were came from some urging or some instinct or intuition that said, oh, maybe I should do this and
Mm-hmm.
follow that. And that's how your inner coach, your inner spirit guide,
Mm-hmm.
GPS coaches you along the path to get there. Yep, that's the way it works. Precisely.
And, I've kind of don't realize it, but when you think of your whole life, and, we're all a little older now, and you think about all the things that happen in your life, your career, your family, um, they're all part of this whole process.
That's right. And you don't realize it so much at the time, but when you look back,
Mhm.
reflect, and see how if this particular thing didn't happen, then the next thing wouldn't have happened, and you
Exactly.
wouldn't be where you are now. Right. Everything in the past has led to exactly where we are now.
Hmm.
Yeah. Thank you. Yvonne?
Hi, I'm sitting in my car in Marina Del Rey, at, getting ready to get my son's lease re-signed. But and yesterday I saw my nephew, Major Charles Olson III, which is a chaplain, and he's in Japan, but he's home visiting. But anyway, I wanted to tell you, I just wanted to retell you my love story with my soulmate Tony, that I brought me to be living in the house that I'm living in now, that I didn't even know I wanted or even desired. And yet all my desires have been met with this where I'm living. And, I imagined I wanted a huge mansion. I did have a big house, but I don't have a big house now, but I'm extremely happy because I have a wonderful view and everything. But I met Tony. I'd never been to the restaurant. I'd never been to where they took me. My girlfriends came and took me out of the house. Didn't even let me I was wearing my shorts and everything. They didn't even let me get dressed appropriately. They just sort of kidnapped me and took me there. And so that's how I met him. And I think about that, and it's just amazing. We went to dinner at an Italian restaurant, and we went to, they call Rubens on the Hill at the time. It was just amazing. So I think what you described actually has happened in my life, and many times, not just one time, but many times. Anyway, I don't know if we're gone or not, but okay, I'm done. So I don't know where you are. What happened? I think they went dead on me. Okay, I
Well,
can't see you. There you are.
but we still have you.
Okay. Well, I couldn't see you, but I'm in my car and I do have to get over to help my son. But I wanted to let you know I was very interested. I'm glad I got the steps. And yes, I know I'm hoping that I'll have more steps, but I don't know how much longer my life is going to be. So should we be working harder? Actually, it's worked out pretty good for you at the end of your life. You're doing pretty darn well. You're setting a good example.
Thank
And
you.
I think you're
So none of us know, but we still have things we like and desire, and
Mhm.
it's okay if we check out of this life before everyone is satisfied. We can get the
Mhm.
chance to come back and get some more things.
Well, that's the part we have to talk about. I'm not sure that I'm coming back as a person. I'm thinking more I might be put into some kind of job, like being one of the guardian. So
Guardian,
I don't know. We have to discuss that a little further. I'm not in agreement with whether or not I get to come back. I just hope somebody tells me I did a job well done, and I don't know if that's the case yet. So maybe I need to work a little bit more on that. I like to have them tell me I did a job well done.
well, the fact of the matter is that the living and experiencing is a job well done, because that's what we're here for, is to uh, learn, have some joy, interact with others, help them along the way. You're certainly doing all of those things. So
Yeah. I want to say Yvonne would be a great guardian angel.
Thank you. I
I'll
might
vote,
like that job.
I'll vote for you. Also, I want to say hi to Virginia. I saw her name, but I don't see her on here.
yeah,
Hello, Virginia.
she's there listening.
Hi. Okay, I don't see her picture. Okay, gotcha.
All right. So Virginia, did you come in time to catch up on the steps that we had for the law of attraction? The desire is the first step, and then the escrow building the second, and allowing the third, and the fourth, we get the material manifestation of it. That's all. It's all explained in the text that goes with this, and we were just having fun talking about experiencing that. So there are some things that you can do to enhance so a question we haven't talked about is how fast this happens. And so there is some information about that. It's in the book. It's only mentioned once. And that was that when you think about something, if you stay focused on a particular thought for about a quarter of a minute, about 16 seconds, that is enough radiating the energy of that frequency of that thought, that other thoughts that are out there floating around begin to come to you. So you'll notice that you start getting other similar thoughts after about 16 seconds. So if you don't like what you're thinking about, you don't like where it's going to go, well, change it before 16 seconds. Yeah. Change it as soon as you notice it. And then you won't be attracting anything. And then once you exceed 16 seconds, you're attracting more thoughts of the same energy, same vibration, same frequency. And beyond a minute, that's when the escrow building begins. That's when things start to accumulate and line up to make whatever you're thinking about happen for you. So that's the beginning of that process. So what it comes down to, if you're thinking about something you really want, something that's going to really be fun for you, then keep thinking about it. Embellish it. Think about it as much as possible, and that speeds up its delivery. Makes it real sooner.
That's a good thing.
That's why something like a vision board that people sometimes do contributes to that. I've had numerous people say that they discovered their vision board in a closet in the attic years later, and they were surprised to find the things on the image board were what had happened for them. Somebody said that the picture of the house that they had put on the vision board and totally forgot about was the house they were living in. And they had eventually, along the way, that's what had come to them, and that's where they were, and didn't even realize until he pulled out the vision board and checked it again that that's what they'd put in there. That had been in their escrow and paid off.
It's wonderful. I want to ask you a question. If you're involved with somebody who wants, you feel actually becomes like a devil around you, maybe because of alcohol or some other thing. And I want to not get angry, and I want to keep in a positive thought, but they're berating you and calling you names and making you feel really bad. And I don't really want to be a doormat and put up with that. So how would you do this handling of getting your back into the flow, or getting this negative thing out of your flow? So, and when they're not drinking, they're a very nice person. And I just don't know what to do about that problem. But I try to think, is there some positive thought that I can put in my head that can change that? Like, can I say, you're going to stop drinking, you're going to be a nice person, you're not going to use bad language? Can we do that? Can we change somebody else's flow? Or is that
No.
positive? No.
You can influence them, but you cannot change them. Because we all have free will, but you can influence them. And
Okay.
by having a positive influence, by having a positive, joyful spirit yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And I know it's difficult. It's the first answer to that is to not associate with the person, but that's hard if they're a relative or someone you live with, and often that's the case. And
Mm-hmm.
so the thing to do is to take some time away from them and think of as many positive aspects of them as possible. Because everybody's got some positive things,
Mm-hmm.
and appreciate the positive things. And when you appreciate the positive things, you're going to radiate a positive energy towards them that will influence them. So that's the
Appreciate the positive things. That's a very good reply. I think sometimes I don't praise him enough and I don't give him enough hugs. He told me I don't talk to my other children like I talk to him. Like I get mad at him and I'll tell him what I think of him, how he's acting. I don't like it. And he says, you don't, but I don't know how to tell him, though my other children aren't doing that. But, and then he says, what was it? He says, oh, you have a problem. And I want to tell him, yeah, I know, I have a problem. But you're the problem. But, so, well, it's very difficult. So I would like to get my flow. My second, husband that he would not allow him to be living with us. And so he came to be living with me now in my old age because it just is the way it is. He doesn't have a place, and it's just easier for me to. That's why he's got the boat, and all that stuff to get him out of my life a little bit. And he also wants to get away from me. I am sure he does, because he doesn't like to be with goody two shoes. So, I don't know if you know what I mean, but so I think thinking about his positive and giving him more praise just might work. That I have to be better at that. You're right. That's a good idea.
well,
So you have any more?
well, that's what I mean. Help him get out of your life is a good thing too, so that you can be more positive. But praise and find something to be positive about in his life. Yes, I think that's a great idea.
I think he needs something to be positive about himself, and I need to help him find that, like some kind of thing that he needs to be doing. Like you went into the art. Actually, he's a good artist. Something that makes him feel good about himself, I think, would help too. So I think, get him to where his positive eyes. I wish he would listen to you on this program and get it into his head. Maybe he could start focusing on changing his emotion levels. But I have a feeling there is bad things in our world. And I have a feeling they can control you when you are drinking. And I have a feeling that he needs to just plain stop drinking, and that would help a lot. But I think there is some way that evilness comes along with that, changes the people. And it's very scary sometimes, very scary. But anyway, I see it getting better, so that's good. There's less frequency, it's getting better. So that is good. I mean, before it was like, oh my gosh, all the time. And so anyway, that's I am worried. That's one of the reasons you need to change your flow when you're around that person to a more positive flow as best as you can.
So one thing that helps is to prepare when you know you're going to have an interaction with somebody, to prepare ahead of time what you, there's the questions in the book about preparation for, like, why, what do I expect? What do I want to happen out of this interaction? So, and so have a goal when you go in, so that things don't just, so that you're not in the reactive mode, you have a plan about what you want the outcome to be. And that gives you a tremendous advantage.
Plan, outcome. Okay, and what if the person's plan is just the opposite of it?
Well, you don't go there. Don't worry about that.
No, don't go there. Just think positive.
Right.
Okay, and appreciative of of the good things that you do know about it. Oh yeah, he's used to be the light of my life when he was a little boy, and when he grew up and left, a lot of the light of my life left. He was joyous and fun, and used to be very entertaining, and I remember those days. So I haven't forgotten. It's just I don't think he's remembered, and he doesn't think I do anything for him. That's the other thing. I'm thinking, wow. I mean, it's like it just goes flat over his head that that he's getting help. He doesn't even have a comprehension of that. Isn't that strange? I mean, I'm driving him, I'm picking him up, I'm doing all that. Has no comprehension that he's getting help. So that's very funny. But he also had a brain injury, along the way, a bad one, a frontal lobe motorcycle. So,
Well, what our coaches tell us is that when we help a person because we think that they won't do well without our help, then we're really not helping them, because we're encouraging their
true.
dependence. And
Mhm.
so once a
How do
person
you change that?
you just have to, draw some lines someplace, I would say, and decide where they are and stick with them and say that I've decided that my helping you isn't helping you, so I'm going to stop so you'll learn how to help yourself. I mean, there's the old saying, if you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. If you teach a man to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. So teaching somebody how to take care of themselves is what we really need to do as parents.
Well, I've tried that, but the frontal lobe is kicking in with pre-Alzheimer's. So there is another situation coming. He very, very can't remember, getting very, very forgetful. Being tested for that now. So, but that's part of a bad frontal lobe brain injury. They're finding out. So I don't know that I can make him self-sufficient, but I've been trying. I really have. I tried to. It just doesn't work sometimes. But anyway, I'll try keeping more appreciative, and I'm hoping that today will go well. His boat got broken into. We had the police there. The person was arrested. I've been having quite a week. So, and that person's on drugs, and this is the second time he's broken into his boat. So, and every time it costs money because you have to put the boat back together again. And they script the electricals on the boats are very expensive. So you have to have the electrician come and go through everything and make sure why is the AC and the DC not working and get it working again. So expensive. But I'm hoping that he gets, well, he's going to be a grandfather in January. I'm going to be a great grandmother, so he better get his act together. That's all I can say. His daughters kind of need him to step up and be that grandfather that children need.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm hoping and praying for, I should say. So
Good.
if I can have any insight, should I focus on getting some insights about how to help to make myself be more helpful to him to get to that goal? Yes.
encourage him to think about, or just ask him, what is it that you will want for your grandson, daughter?
It's gonna be a little girl, Ella
Yeah.
Rose. But I think there'll be more following, of course, because they're already planning the next one, and I'm going, oh, you haven't had this one yet. But they're planning a large family. They want a large family, which is kind of unusual in these days. So,
Oh.
but okay. What does he want from his, or what? Well, what does he want from his grandchild, or what does what does he want to help give to his grandchildren? What does he want to? I think he wants to take them.
What's his wish for?
I think he might just want to see them. I think he wants to see them. I don't think his daughter at this point is going to let him see them unless he starts changing.
Ah,
She's very adamant about that. No drinking, no alcohol, no anything around her children. So she's
So
already.
so that might be a motivation. If you can encourage
Yes.
to think about
Yes, motivation if he wants to see them.
what he wants.
I'm thinking to have more things at my house, more family gatherings. Mostly I go away to other people's homes and we have the family, but he's being excluded. So if I can get him to where he can be included, which happened this time when my son came from Hawaii and ice skating with my granddaughter. She came in first place, by the way, on her division, and she got a gold, the gold medallion, and they have the silver and the bronze, just like the big times. Only this is the junior world, and so I mean that's pretty good because if she does that, she could be another Michelle Wong type, coming up here. But anyway, it was good, and they were at my house, and they're very good with my son, so he was very happy. And then Zoe, my other son's daughter, got to spend the night, and she's 13 years old. She's never spent the night at my house, never. So she got to stay because my other son was there, and it was a very joyful time. And Jeff was very happy. He was very included. And I told him, I said, and he did behave. He was behaving. It was very good.
Good.
So
Build on that.
yes, that's what we need to build on. But anyway, I thank you.
Okay.
You could go back to other people. I'm sorry to take so much of your time, but that was very good for me to get some insights. And I need to see how I need to change, which means I need to focus on his and praise and focus on his good things and what he wants to achieve with his grandchildren. I think that'll be a good thing. Thank you.
Okay, nice seeing you, Yvonne.
Nice seeing you. And I think I better get on because I'm thinking if I've
Okay.
got to catch these people, get this thing lease signed.
Well,
And
we're ready to sign off too. So.
all right. Well, I'm going to let you go. I thank you very much. Until next Wednesday. Okay. Signing off.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. I don't know how to do that, but I think I'm going to do it.
I'll bye-bye you. Bye.
Okay. Thank
Bye.
you. I don't think I'm